Yeah, let's try all that. I'll do a retake for now. So we do it down, and that's what we call a retake. We come back. Yeah, we try it. One,
music which we didn't know. So it's sort of a game of, if we do all these things, all these games that we've been playing with you today, and we try and, you know, we're literally playing all of those games inside ourselves as we do that to try and hang this thing together.
Okay, so this is the really good thing. With fast music always needs to have a tension of resistance. Otherwise, it kind of loses its integrity. Like, speed is fun when it has a direction and it's trying to get somewhere, but it has to have a feeling of trying. If it flies, it loses some of its power. So whatever speed we take is great, but it cannot topple forward. It's kind of, unfortunately, it happens a lot when we do pizzicato. Has anyone noticed? Pizzicato always want to go fast. Because they're easy, the tempo tends to flow. But we really, when we set a fast tempo, ironically, we need to sit on our back. We need to sit in our heels. And it's the same way when we play slow music, we do the opposite. We have to sing through, like it's got this continuation. So when we go fast, we need to sit in our heels. So percussion, set us a tempo that's fast but steady. Yeah? feel like now we're playing kind of mezzo all the time. It would be nice if we could come down, because that's the part that really like captures the imagination of the audience too. So, did you see where I said quiet? The 3 bars before that, we need to find a way to play more quiet. Yeah, bar 29 is the dim, and bar 32 is the quietest moment. Is that clear? Yeah? Yeah, but here, how... You play B with the quietest moment, exactly. So the question is, how are we going to, what are we going to do technically to have a lighter sound?
To kind of just wait when...
Yep. A really, really helpful thing is when we're playing loudly to go as much as you can towards the bridge, because that's where the power is. And when we have to go lightly, if we just move to the fingerboard, I'll show you. Right, it's instant. So in those 3 bars at 29, I would do. Can we try that? Maybe just those 3 bars. So for bar 29, 1 bar in, 1, 2, Okay, so I think right now, if we try to bounce the bow, it's really, really hard to control. So don't worry about bouncing the bow. Find a way that you can get really good articulation without the technique of jumping. Jumping is like the icing, it's not the cake. The cake is keeping the pulse. Remember, rhythm is our master, always. Yeah, so can we find a way, violins, violas, cellos, that we stay on the string? We don't have to jump. Yeah, those 3 bars again. Okay, 1 bar in. 1, 2, bang. Good. And violas, if you're going to start with lots of bow, which is nice, then you have to decrease the bow. Maybe we could all start with using like half the bow to Our Lady. The phrase "less is more" is really effective. So we use half the bow, and then we use less and less until we get to part.
And cellos, we're doing a longer note. We can do exactly the same. We use less and less bow.
Should we try that? So from more bow to less bow. 1, 2, and. Good. And it's exactly like we did at the start of winter when we were really precise with our bow. It was so much more effective. So when we do that drop, if we cannot trail but have shorter notes. Can we try it one last time? We'll go into it. So 1, 2, Good. And we need to crescendo so much that we launch him. That's our job. Okay? So then there's a big crescendo. It's sounding really good. Why don't we go from the top and see if we can get to that point and literally we launch him, almost like we kick him to make him play. That's the feeling of the music. It has to, exactly like this morning. Wha! That's the energy.
Should we make it like a complete playthrough? And then we get, it's about 25 to 4.
Okay, perfect. This can be our playthrough. So from here to that moment that we just got to, I think it's like 38. Okay. And same, that was perfect. Your tempo was fast, but not faster. I liked it. Can we do the same? 4 bars in. Ideas from this morning, all the methods, all the ways to think of our instrument creatively and to connect, like this is when Vivaldi starts to get pretty fun. fun, right? Say again? Well, it's more that we would like to stay for like many days, but next time we will. But I just really just remind yourself that what we're doing now is all the stuff we did in the morning, just put into place now. So when you come back, try not to see like lines and dots. Think, where's the shape? Where am I going? Where am I coming from? Who am I sending energy to? Who's sending energy to me? Because that's what makes it like really fun. Because that sounded great.
That's fantastic. Give us a round of applause.
Sounds.
Voilà. Should we play that little bit of passage? Should we play the little trio? Is that alright? We're going to play you something and we can leave you this music that you could try too.
Yeah. So it's all like, someone is called like a fixer, and their job is for every project they fix the right amount of players. And it could be actually, what's really interesting is that what CLS do, because we do so many different projects, different players might be asked to do different projects because their skill set is better suited in different places. So we do such a variety of things. Like we go into schools, we go into hospitals, we go into care homes, because we believe that actually connecting isn't only from the stage. So it's totally not just about the music and the instrument needed, it's about the person that's needed. So much of what we do in music is about relating to other people. And naturally we all are more confident in certain places than others. So you get booked not just maybe how you play, but what your energy is like or what your skill set is like. Does that make sense?
In your orchestra, how much of it is it creativity and how much of it is it reading the score sheet?
So how much is creativity and how much is reading the score and doing things that have been written before? That's your question. But yeah, I think actually it's quite an unusual orchestra for doing a lot of creative work and improvisation work. But until this point, a lot of that work has been the sort of thing we do in the community. Sometimes we do a lot of therapeutic work, so we work with older people in care homes and people who are isolated. We also work with people in hospitals in different kinds of ways. And we will often use music as a kind of conversation, especially in situations where those people can't use words very easily. And you actually find you can really have conversation with people in music. I don't know if you ever tried that. And no one's using any words, but something gets understood and people can, who are isolated, they can often find a lot more energy. It starts to connect things in their mind that have got stuck. And we do some projects with mindfulness that are very creative, where people can come in. We have this thing in the UK now, what they're called social prescribing, right? I don't know if you would have heard of this, but it's a kind of way of this. I don't even know if the state helps this, but it's an idea. I think it's a way that the state should be helping, but it's not. But anyway, it's like if you were isolated, you're older, maybe you've gone through a stroke, something like this, you might be prescribed gardening or choir, or coming have sessions with us, things like this, and just it builds a community around people making music. So we use our music in that way a lot as well, and then we take that kind of creativity. We're trying to make it more of the concert as well. We don't really improvise on stage at the moment in that context, but what we've been doing this week with the theatre in Joburg has been about that, and then last week we were working all week on an idea of whether you can improvise a whole opera. Hands up if you think you can improvise an opera. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure yet. So we're trying to discover. So it feels very improbable, but the point was it's not impossible. So we're going to explore that.
But I should say your question is a very, very good one, and yet somehow it's easy to think freedom is creativity.
Yeah.
And that notes written down are locking us in. But actually the reality is, as we know, like freedom is also a perspective. So the truth is, what's hard is that notes tell you what to do, and if you can't do them, they feel frustrating and they feel hard. So it can feel sometimes when you're learning an instrument that you're kind of doing a test every day. You know, can I pass this test?
You feel
Oh,
like that.
I failed today. And it's not like that. Because the truth is, actually, as you become more confident and become a professional, you still make mistakes. But what you're trying to say still comes through, whether you make a mistake or not. And you're not judged for a mistake. People want you there to be a human playing music, and you're skilled in that, and they trust you. But you're not asked to be a robot and perfect. So you can find a lot of creativity playing the dots, playing the music. And some people, a lot of my colleagues in other places, if I asked them to improvise without, they would not feel free.
Yeah.
They would feel, this is the opposite of creativity. So it's a perspective. And all I would say is that the way you find freedom is to start to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because it's in the place that you are uncomfortable that you kind of unlock things that you didn't even know you had. So like it's if you're good at, let's say, reading, then I'm better at reading than by ear. So I really tried today when we walked in after lunch to be like, I'm going to get this tune. I'm not very good at it, but I'm going to get it. Because the more I do that, the more I tell myself I can play by ear. So you have to keep telling yourself things. Yeah, I didn't get it today, but I'll get it later this week. It's about being on your own side. And that means that you unlock creativity, whether it's improvised or not.
You've already been given a lot of freedom in that your tutors have created parts for you that they know that you can do at the moment, and then that might change next month. You might play more of the notes of the original part, and we've been throwing more of those rhythms at you today, right? And so there's also a freedom of like, I feel like creating this part to go with it. You know, you started playing the saxophone, you didn't even have the music for it, and so you were joining in. And there was a lot of creativity adding percussion for Valdi. Yeah. What was your question?
We all know that percussion is a section on its own, right? Which includes a lot of different instruments like congas, drum kit, shakers, a lot of toys. I mean, in South Africa we call them toys. Yeah, a lot of toys. So like, what exactly does accommodate classic songs between all those percussion instruments? Like, which one exactly accommodates classical songs?
That influenced how you played it.
We needed to make sure that our rhythm is very steady, because now we have dancers, so we have them in mind with every pause that you take. You know,
We can't miss any beats.
We can't miss any
'cause they're
beats.
counting.
Yeah, so yeah.
Fantastic.
So I have quite a few questions. I'll try and break them down. So apart from the technical aspect, what are some of the key things do you focus on before a big performance?
Or in the orchestra together, or sort of both.
Yeah, so
Do you want to answer first? I don't know. Performing is like a constantly evolving thing. Like when I left college and was performing more then, I remember I got terrible like bow shakes. You know bow shakes? When you get nervous. Yeah. I got them and I was like, oh, I haven't even started my career and it's over. I was like, that's it. And then I spoke to someone who was like, oh, that's totally normal. Everyone gets bow shakes at some stage. And because I was very lucky that a couple of people I spoke to told me that it's normal, I learned how to do it. But I would say how I perform now is totally different to how I did 10 years ago. Because I start to really trust the stage and I believe it's a nice place. And I start to believe an audience is either on my side or I don't care. Yeah? So I have decided that I am here to do my best job and you're either on my side, and if you're not, well then, you know, what's that phrase? People that matter don't mind and people that mind don't matter. Yeah? So that's, yeah, and yeah.
So I've been following Benjamin Zander's masterclasses, and he speaks a lot about giving your instrument life, or rather, instead of being a violist, being the viola itself. So how do we embody that spirit in the orchestral setup?
Well, did you all pick your instruments or were they given to you out of interest?
Both.
Bit of both.
You got the one that I wanted.
One that I wanted. I mean, for me, spirit that's true.
I mean this sincerely. You guys come across like viola players. You start to realize, and it sounds a bit like a cliche or a stereotype, but somehow the nature of our instrument as its role, we become that role. And a viola always is a chameleon, because it's playing with the bass line, it's playing with the melody, it's undershadowing. If ever we get a melody, it's always sad. You know, we end up like violinists. A lot of violinists would never want to play the viola because they're used to playing the melody and they love playing the melody, and that's where they should be because they love it. You know what I mean? Whereas most viola players, they're very happy and they're very curious. Otherwise, they're very frustrated because they just want to play the violin, for instance. Yeah. But I think it's about understanding the role, and there's so much scope in every instrument. And the truth is, when you play the viola, you're playing the violin, you're playing the cello, you're playing the clarinet, you're playing the saxophone. Like, no instrument is limited to its name. It plays it all.
When I was at music college, I remember my teacher was quite mean, and before one of our big exams that we had to do, technical exam, she would give us a study only 10 days before, and it was very hard, and so you had a very short time, you had to learn it, and you had to think, what do I need to do every day to get there next week, you know, in your mind. It's like not necessarily that I have to play it all the way through every day, but like, how could I build it in my technique to make it feel good? And I often try to push things so that I can do them, I make it a bit harder for myself than it is going to be in a concert. Like, maybe I try and do it with a different bowing that feels a bit harder, or I try and do, maybe only the bowing no left hand, so my bow really knows what to do, things like that. So you take the thing apart and say, like, what is challenging about this bit? Can I just do that? Can I intensify that? And then you come back, and then in the concert you're like, then you feel free because you've got more than you need. Also, I think it's a bit about like your question of getting to the instrument. What can it do? What can it do? Keep asking.
Globally, in the world of music, is there anything orchestra competition in a sense? Like, do orchestras ever compete?
Maybe youth orchestras.
Youth
there
orchestras,
are,
yeah.
But I think professional orchestras, no.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you have festivals more, so it's more like everyone gets a chance to sort of show, like a showcase, but not so competitive.
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit hard to be competitive with a composer if you're like two orchestras playing Tchaik 6. You know, like Tchaikovsky's not here to say who won that. You know, what's our right to say?
Yeah.
And actually, that's an advantage because music is subjective, and it should be. So, in a way, you don't want to win. You want to be inspired and be inspiring. Yeah.
So we all know that, I think you all know that practicing makes us better in our instruments. So how do you motivate yourself to keep practicing every day, even when it gets frustrating? And so how did you manage to do that when you were on their age? Because it's very easy to say, no, it's okay, I don't need to do this, and move on to something else.
Yeah, I think being creative in your practice, so bring in things like anything that you liked doing today. You could write that down and say, oh, I think I could try that in my own practice, or something like that. And then get creative, like things I was talking about, like taking the thing apart. If you're always getting stuck in the same place, you get quite bored and frustrated. But see if you notice the frustration point. It's like, what is stopping me here? Can I just even imagine what it sounds like in my head? And get interested in the places that feel difficult. And then give yourself a break if you have a day off. And maybe also you could have a bigger picture thing. So imagine maybe you write down a little journal. Where do I want to be in a month? Where would I like to be in 6 months in terms of the feeling? Doesn't have to be like a grade thing, but like a certain feeling you want to have on your instrument. Something like that. So you could keep that for yourself. That might be different for every person. Might have different like milestones that you want. But that could keep you it gets that motivation, isn't it?
I had a question actually before I forget. Since we are like a versatile orchestra, it happens that sometimes our conductor maybe would ask as an improvisation from one of the violinists. So how do I then, as a violinist, maneuver around finding the right notes to maybe improvise with that jazz song, maybe outside of classic, because we normally do most of jazz music. So how do I then improvise?
And what's great about jazz is that wrong notes don't exist. But it's quite nice when tension is released. So if you know that the notes within the key like feel good, then you get to explore notes and know that you can always come back to the notes that sit and gel. So I think knowing the key you're in is the secret.
Should I try one thing for you as well? Could you play a drone?
Yep.
Actually, anybody could play a drone note for me. And you're not going to tell me what it is either. So I don't have perfect pitch. I don't know which note I've landed on, but what I could tell immediately is like, does it go with that note or does it disagree? If we do it again, I'll deliberately choose like. When I went to that A at the top, it went like, oh, it doesn't sound good. It's like, can I dig in? And then like, as I released that, I said, oh, that's nice. So sometimes it's about, I would say if you want to get into improvisation, playing with a drone note, you can actually do some, like even like YouTube has got loads of good drone notes on cellos. And they're quite nice to play with. And then you can just play with no rules. Then you might start to play your own games of like, okay, well, I'll give myself 5-note scale. Like things like that.
As an orchestra that is only a year old, I can say for myself that it's been quite daunting, you know, to be an instrumentalist. But the vision is there, you know. At times it does, you know, get demotivating, or you lose a bit of ambition, you know, to come up to class every now and then. So how do we focus on making a lasting impression and, you know, at the very same time keeping that global impact vision in mind?
Claire, what exercises do you do for you to, like, when you play, your fingers don't get stiff?
Yeah. And it's really effective. And I'll send it on to your tutors so you have it. It's really good. But I also do like exercises like semitone all the way up. And I do whole tone. I do all these kind of awkward things because particularly playing the viola, everything's a stretch, right? So I also just piggyback off other musicians. I ask them, what do you do to warm up? And I try that for a while, but I change it up. Yeah.
We might send a few materials of things that we like as well.
Would you like that? We can definitely. We'll send that to your tutors.
Yeah. For cellos, so I can give you as well.
Thank you very much for taking time and spending this day with us. It means a great deal. And I think I will let you know exactly what do they think. Okay, but by seeing everyone, I think everyone is happy. So thank you very much. Hope to see you soon, guys. So on behalf of the orchestra, Soweto Theatre and JCT would like to say thank you to you guys. Thank you to you guys. Wow.
Amazing, thank you.
Thank you.
That's so lovely. Thanks for having us, guys. Thank you for having us. And next time we'll do more playing.
I loved hearing you play.
I really enjoyed being here in the room and watching the orchestra working with our guys. I thought it was, I hope they feel it was successful because I know our guys had a good time playing with them and sharing skills with each other and playing tunes that neither of them knew. So I thought it was a great day. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Right from Soweto Theatre Youth Orchestra, we are very grateful and we say thank you from our friends from London. We had fun, we learned, and everything was super obvious.
Nice one! Nice